talk now. This MMA, what we talking about? Yeah, you tuned into the pod now. Gonna be hard for you to stop now. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in.
Welcome back to another episode of Caged In. I'm your host, Chris DiCarlo. Got a very special guest making his return to the show. It's the Gladiator, Andrew Valdina. How we doing, my man?
Good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. You know, you're becoming a regular on this show, bro.
I know. I appreciate you having me on each time. It's always good chatting on here. I feel like you're one of the more professional ones in the region too. So it's always fun being on here.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate that. You know, you do have a big one coming up, Cage Titans 59, taking a step up in competition versus Will Sriracha Smith. I haven't talked to you though since Cage Titans 58. So let's, do the usual, go back, recap that one, and then we'll get into what's coming up for you in May. All right.
Sure.
So Cage Titans 58, rear naked choke win over Michael Taylor, 150 into round number one. Just to, talk about the fight a little bit, Taylor did come out hot, throwing some big kicks at you, using that length. Was that something that you guys were prepared for going into that one?
Yeah, I mean, I was prepared for two different Mike Taylors, to be honest with you. We were prepared for him to come out more like, Rob Fuller-esque, where he's coming just full force, swing with everything he's got in a straight line, you know what I mean? And I was also prepared for that laid-back version that he kind of showed here, but, he said he threw some heat. He definitely did, but he did it in a more laid-back version where he actually picked his shots, somewhat well with those high kicks, but I just had better defense, So, yeah, we were prepared for it. And the game plan was exactly how we executed every single day with that Luciani Special left hand, just timing his, footwork and stuff like that. So it was good.
Yeah, man, you mentioned it, the Luciani Special, man. That seems to be the new name for that combo. It's beautiful. Can you kind of talk about that combo, the cadence behind it and kind of what it was like training that in the gym and then, making it go to work in the cage?
No, I mean, so Pete Luciani, he's like my main striking coach these days. He's been basically my striking coach for all my pro fights now. So that's how long I had him for. And it's night and day. Thank you, Pete, so much. Seriously.
Shout out Pete.
Shout out Pete Luciani. Scumbag. No, but he's but no, we actually just chuckled about this the other day. We were in the gym and I was like, yeah, man, it's night and day, since I, started working with you, Pete, trying to give him some props. He goes, yeah, you had a lot of tools, but you just thrown them everywhere. You didn't really know how to properly use all these tools that you had. And now Pete, man, he really you sees all the tools that I have, that I possessed, and he finds ways to incorporate them with everything. So that, what I'm calling it a Pete Luciani Special is basically stamped that now. It's just footwork. He's such a big emphasis on footwork and how footwork wins fights. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what it was. It was nothing about the punch in particular. It was more so the way I set it up with my footwork, getting outside of his lead leg and stuff and just fucking cutting him down the middle. So the game plan worked perfect. We drill it all the time. But it was good. I was pumped to see that happen.
Yeah, man, it was a beautiful combo. Definitely one of the biggest strikes you probably landed in your career as far as, how it landed and what happened to Mike after it hit him. Once you got him on the ground after that Luciani Special, then you put on the ground and pound, sunk a choke in, Mike ends up pulling it off and you end up landing more big ground and pound to eventually sink in the rear naked choke and get the W. That makes, 3 events, man, 3 wins in a row, 3 first round finishes. How did it feel, that night getting your hand raised again, knowing that you just, stamped another W in the win column?
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about that night now without so much emotion, but before, when I was thinking about this night and as the night was occurring, it just hit me like a fucking 18-wheeler in that cage, man, and in the back room too. Just to see all the hours that we all put in. It's not just me; it's all my teammates too that put in this work with me, and we all just dedicate our lives to this. And then to see the rewards come with it, it's a really good feeling. I don't get stuck up on them. I already put it behind me. I'm always going to remember it, but I put it behind me because I want more. But that night, man, was really special. I just did what I knew I could do in the gym, and it turned out great. And they had my mom and dad out there and try to get my waterworks flowing or something like that. But no, it was cool. It was cool. I'm happy they did that too.
Yeah, I was going to mention that too, man. Did you know that was something that was going to happen? For people that don't know, your mom and dad were shown on the big screen with Maddie Levine before your walkout. Did you know that was something that was organized, that was going to happen? And, how were the emotions flowing, as you were walking out to the cage after seeing that? Because it was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, I had no idea they were going to do that. I'm very happy they did. Thank you, Cage Titans, for that. Joe Lozon thought I was going to be mad about it. No, he was mad at Mike Polvere for doing it because he thought I was going to fuck with me mentally. And I don't know, I just zoned me in more. I was like, okay, this is what I'm fucking fighting for right now. And I'm going to, I'm not going to take an L after this. But no, I kind of had I didn't know exactly they were going to do that. But the day before at weigh-ins, Nick Heiler's around with his camera shooting like a lunatic. And I'm like, hey, Nick, get over here. Take a picture of me and my pops real quick. And he goes, oh, we got something special planned for you, Pops, tomorrow. And I kind of just didn't I just let it go over my shoulder, whatever. And that ended up happening. So
Yeah.
it was cool.
It was awesome, man. Also, I wanted to speak on that was the first time that I've seen Maddie Levine kind of used at Cage Titans as like a rover reporter type deal. I thought that was super cool. I think she's honestly like one of the best in the region at what she does. And the fact that Cage Titans was able to use her in that type of role, I thought it was awesome. So props to Cage Titans and Maddie Levine for that, because I thought that was awesome for the broadcast and for, the people in the arena to see it on the big screen as well.
What does that hurt? You know what I mean? That just helps everybody. It helps Maddie. It helps Cage Titans. It gets everybody in the arena, more into the fight, I feel. So I think that was a wicked good move. And Maddie's a freaking sweetheart, and she's so professional in what she does. So I piggyback what you say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For sure. And, everything's been moving so fast for you, man. 3 fights we already talked about, 3 fights, 3 events, 3 finishes. How are you able to keep up with this pace? And then on the flip side of that, what are you doing to kind of keep your mental game, on par and make sure you're not getting too high on yourself so far?
I like that last thing you just said, how the mental game, because that's what I've been dialing in a lot, on my own and stuff. Obviously, we don't have group meetings of trying to get mental strength, but,
right.
But on my own, I'm trying to really just keep myself level. In the grand scheme of things, no matter what anybody tells me, I appreciate all the pride that people have in me, and I'm proud of myself here and there too. But I have not done shit yet in my mind. You know what I mean? I feel like if I have that mindset where I'm satisfied and I'm going to settle, I really like what I'm getting here. That's where I just start falling off, and everything that I've done is for nothing now. That's where the whole plummet of, it's all going to plummet there. So I'm always, what's next? I appreciate it all in the moment, but then I just put it behind me, remember it, because it helps me get through training camps. If, I call it I'm kind of bouncing around here and there, but David Goggins has this thing about the cookie jar system, where when he needs to find more motivation, he kind of goes into his cookie jar, picks out something that he's done in his life where it was very, challenging, and he got through it. So that's what I kind of do with all these fights as well. It's like, all right, I went and did this, I went and did that. And that's what gets me, day to day, trying to get to each fight camp and, where I go to the day. But another thing that makes it easier, man, is this isn't work in my mind. I love doing this more than anything. I've said it a few times now, but this is exactly how my mindset always worked. It's a grateful mindset in knowing that this sport is not going to last forever. And, even seeing these recent retirements you see in the UFC cages, man, it gets me going, because I'm like, all right, that's going to be me someday, and I'm going to have to turn these gloves in. So I enjoy every single workout. I enjoy every single fucking 2-hour car ride going to one, because I'm not going to be able to do this in, 20, 30 years, whatever it is. So
yeah, exactly, man. I think as far as with how young you are and the mind state that you carry, I think that you're, right on the path that you should be. You do keep yourself humble, even though you have gotten this, fast rising success since turning pro. So it's good to see that, you're continuing to remember the lessons that you learned, putting them to good use, and not letting, your head get too big and not letting the moment get too big for you. So it's good that I think you're right on that nice even keel line where you should be. And I think a lot of people that are in the region or, in the country doing this sport, I think they could take a lot of lessons from how you've kind of handled yourself throughout the success so far. It's been pretty cool to see.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, no problem, man. All right, bro, let's get into it. Cage Titans 59 going down May 27th. You're taking on Will Sriracha Smith, who is 4-5 as a pro. How did this fight kind of come into fruition for you, and why was Will Smith the ultimate opponent for May 27th?
Will Sriracha Smith, that's who I'm fighting May 27th. Like you said, man, I'm excited for it. I didn't, go out searching for this kid in particular. I actually don't ever do any of the matchmaking. I just leave it to Joe Lozon. He asked me if I want to, fight on the next Cage Titans, next event, whatever it is. And I say, yes. He throws my name in the hat. Polvere comes back at him. But me and Joe are on the same page, where we also understand that we continuously want incrementally, increased talent in each opponent that we're fighting. And Will Smith, I think, is the perfect next step. I went from, someone like Fuller, then I went to someone like Basler, then I went to someone like Mike Taylor, and now I got my Will Smith, and he's definitely a step up. I think I did fight a couple people that might have been tougher than Will Smith in my amateur career, but in the professional career, and you can even honestly make an argument for the NBA career as well, this is my toughest test to date. And, I keep that in my mind as well, knowing that I know what I'm getting myself into. I know what I'm fighting for, and I'm ready to just take it to him and know what I can do.
For sure, man. The storyline that's kind of built into this fight is, the fast, young, rising star, 3-0 versus, the touted regional veteran, 4-5, fought on the Bellator stage, just knocked off another rising star in Cam Arnold, who was 2-0 in his young professional career. So that storyline's kind of built into this fight as it is. So how do you feel about that? And how do you feel about just overall this matchup, stylistically, you versus Will Smith?
I like the storylines. You know what I mean? Like, storylines is what really gets eyes on the fights. So, a lot of the time I had to like kind of provoke some things to kind of in a lot of these fights to get more like marketing out of it, get more eyes, more tickets, whatever the fuck it is, just at least more eyes on it.
Right.
This time the storyline just already created by what we've both done in our careers, and that's a beautiful thing. He has his own type of fan base as well. That's I hear it's not not too shabby. I hear it's pretty big, and I got a decent one too at Plymouth. So I'm excited for it because I know what his weapons are, and we're working day in day out. Exactly what the type of style that we can bring to nullify anything that he wants to do.
Right.
I'm excited for it. Everybody in Plymouth Memorial Hall should be excited for it because it's going to be bonkers. The roof's going to fucking fly off.
It definitely is, man. It definitely is. Stylistically, as far as like your game versus his game, do you see any advantages or any disadvantages in this matchup versus Will?
I see what Will can do, and I know that if I, fuck around and lose, focus for any amount of time in that fight, then it's going to probably be bad news for me. That's what the type of fighter Will is, where, if you stay on your game, you can definitely get the job done. But the moment you slack off, the moment you fuck off, lose focus, or do a little mistake here and there, like, Will can take advantage, and that's where he'll win some fights. So I just, like we were talking about earlier, the mental game, man. I'm always trying to improve my mental game, and I feel the most calm I've ever felt. I've been telling people I'm having the most fun this fight camp that I have in a long time. I'm finding this new source of like energy to really get out there and do what I do. So, my weapons are going to be better than his. That's all I can say.
For sure. And, you did mention that Will Smith is a solid step up in competition from what you fought so far in your pro career. Why did you feel like now was the correct time to make a step like that?
So the first 3 fights was me just like, I keep saying this as well. The first 3 fights I kicked in the door to the pro bantamweights, and I joined the top 10 in New England MMA, whatever. And, I can't keep fighting these types of guys forever. I want to keep climbing. I don't want to settle, like we were saying earlier. I need my personality needs to, keep going and climbing. So Will Smith is the perfect next opponent. A 4-5 guy, it's close to 500 there. He fought on the bigger stage. Many people in the region know him too, so they know that this is a good test for me. And I think once I, beat Will Smith in the fashion that I know I can beat him, everyone else is going to take notice and be like, all right, Valdina's not here just to, say he's a big, bad professional bantamweight. He's here to kick in the fucking door like he did and stay and climb. And everybody should have a little bit of fucking nerves now.
For sure, man. I love to hear it. I love the energy. Always bringing the energy, man.
Sure.
Yes, sir. What can the fans at Plymouth Memorial Hall expect from the Gladiator on May 27th once that cage door locks, man?
May 27th, you guys should truly expect to see, the best version of myself. It happens every single fight, and it's the most cliche thing to say for any fighter, right? But I really do believe in it when I say it. I don't do any of this for nothing. Everything I do is for a purpose, and it's to be the best of the best someday. And it all comes from, the moments like right now. I need to take this fight. I need to finish this kid like I know I can, and get your tickets ASAP. Get your pay-per-view streams. You can't make it. It's going to be an insane fight. I can't wait to do it. Let's go.
Yes, sir, man. I'd love to hear that. The whole event.
The reason I have all this energy, it's no joke. It all comes from Cholula. It all comes from this sauce right here. There's that Sriracha shit. Go ahead, open the fridge, go get it, take a whiff, and throw it in the trash barrel. We got Cholula, and this is going to get you going to Fight Night. Let's go.
All right, Andrew Valdina, mysteriously sponsored by Cholula hot sauce. We don't know where it came from, but it's a thing now. We love to see it. We love to see it. Bringing the whole thing 360, man. We'd love to see it.
Sponsor or not, I just know it's better than that garbage Sriracha.
Love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. All right, but you know how I always end these shows with like some weird, crazy questions. Since I've had you on the show so many times, my brain couldn't think of any good ones to come up with. So what we're gonna do instead, a little bit of this or that, if you're down to do that, and I'll get you out of here. Let you go do your thing.
All right, let's do it.
All right, man. We'll rattle them off real quick. Are you a dog person or a cat person?
Dog.
Dog person. That was way too easy. Do you
Yeah.
prefer Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
There you go. Do you prefer a phone call or a text message?
Phone call.
Intimate, man. I like it. In the
Get to
gym.
point. I mean,
Yeah, you cut right to the chase. I understand. In the gym, cardio or weights?
cardio.
Cardio. Yeah, I'm a weights guy, man. I don't fuck with that cardio stuff. But I mean, you're also a fighter. I'm not, so that makes sense. Music or podcasts?
Music.
There you go. And
No
then I'm offended immediately. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Of course. We don't want any of those green bubbles in our chats, man. Get them out of
These
here.
outrageous questions. You know the answer to a lot of these. Come on now.
Do you prefer big parties or small gatherings?
Big parties.
Big parties. And then last one, comedy or horror?
Comedy.
There we go, man. Andrew the Gladiator, Valdina, always a pleasure, my man. Of course, before we get you out of here, we got to let you rattle off the sponsor shout outs. What do you got for us today, my man?
So I actually I should have got the list out here, but can I swipe out? Can you still see me here?
Yeah, you swiped out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. Do your thing.
All right, perfect. So to start, we got a sponsor from Two Fight Bros.
Yes, sir.
A newer sponsor. I appreciate them. I'm fortunate enough to have them, show my stuff out on social media as well now these days. And, I asked them what do you want me to say kind of about you guys? What's your mission statement type of thing? And they basically just said, say how you feel. All we want is to get the, our fighters paid and, to see them reach the, the potential they can reach. So I really appreciate Two Fight Bros for this fight camp. Matty C Sports for You and Me. It's another podcast in the region. He's a good guy, man. He always tries to get me on his show as well. Any fighters in the region, after you're done going to Caged In, make sure you make your rounds over to Matty C's.
Yes, sir.
Another one is U.S. Golden Pond. That's run by my oldest sister and her boyfriend up in Manchester, New Hampshire. They give the best deals around. Drake It, Exhaust, and Break. This is a brand new sponsor from a really good family friend of ours, Dan Greenlaw. I appreciate the support, man. You're always good to me and my family. The next one's Get Right Nutrition. They've stuck with me for friggin' I don't even know how many fights now. It's just a lot of them, and the support's always there. Maddie Ryan is like the founder, and she has a bunch of sister locations as well called Stir in Wilmington, I believe.
Nice.
Is the Vibe in Wyndham, I think. But check her out. Northeast Custom Granite. They actually it's Maddie's mom.
Nice.
Whole damn fam is doing me a good solid here.
Love to hear it, man.
And they basically do granite countertops. They did my whole family's house in Pelham, and it came out friggin' unreal. Face Off Fight Co. This is a bigger one. They stuck with me for a bit now, and they treat me awesome. They really give me a good platform as well. And they basically make custom grappling shorts, rash guards. They have like everyday apparel now, like sweatshirts, hats, shirts. So if you go to their website, make sure you use Valdina at checkout. You'll get a discount off your order.
There you go.
Murphy Gaudreau, it's a mouthful. Murphy Gaudreau Hoskinson Public Accountants Incorporated.
Sheesh.
I appreciate their support. This is a brand new one as well, but the guy that reached out, his name is Jim Gaudreau. Again, he's a really good family friend of ours from my hometown in Drake It, and his whole family's a bunch of friggin' saints. I appreciate the support that you guys gave me this camp as well. And lastly, we have Classic Cars of Palm Beach, and also NAG Comedy or NAG Comedy. The guy is a comic, so but he also has that business where he has great deals and stuff like that down in Florida. I appreciate it, and shout out to Jake Pilla because he's the one that kind of like gave him the insight about me. So thank you, Jake.
There you go, man. There it is, bro. Andrew the Gladiator Valdina, once again making his way to the Caged In podcast, man. We always appreciate you coming on. It's always fun talking to you. It's become a tradition at this point, getting you on before every fight. So, we'll keep the tradition rolling, man. Once you go get this W, become 4-0, and get on your way to 5-0, man. I'd love to see it. Any last words you want to say before I get you out of here, bro?
No, just shout out to my teammates as well. Everyone at Lowe's MMA, SOS, BTT now. I appreciate all the work you guys have given me. It goes a long way. And Chris, thank you again for having me on here and give me the platform to shout out the sponsors as well. I know it's a mouthful, but thank you very much.
It's all good, man. That's what we do it for, man. I appreciate you coming on. I'm sure your sponsors appreciate the shout outs as well. So thanks once again, man, for coming on. I'll see you May 27th. And let's have a good event. It's going to be a big one, man. If you haven't already, go get your tickets. The whole event is stacked. May 27th, Cage Titans 59, Plymouth Memorial Hall. Andrew, I'll see you then, man.
Yes, sir. I'll see you.
Down for the count and he can't even talk now. This MMA, what we talking about? Yeah, you tuned into the pod now. Gonna be hard for you to stop now. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in.